How's it going? So last video we looked at Tesla's Optimus, and this video we are going to look at Boston Dynamics Atlas. So I sort of showed a little snippet of it from last video, but in this video we'll be fully going over it, reviewing it, and maybe even comparing it to other robots. So let's get ready. All right. And I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts too in the comments section below. I know I always give my reviews, but I always like to hear your opinions. All right. So first, let's go over the looks. So before we begin, this one is obviously not meant for people to just like have walking around. This one's more meant for warehouses and industrial stuff. It's definitely not going to be doing anything around your house, right? It is way too metallic looking to sort of just have around. But it's still very cool looking. It has a good design. I like the head. The hands, they're kind of a little odd. Having just sort of grippers is sort of different than like having just regular hands that could grip anything. But from what they've showed, it still seems to look like it works pretty well, but only for specifically designed things. So this one, it works really good at a lot of things because they just completely ignored the hands. Making the hands good is probably one of the hardest parts of these robots, and that's probably why Atlas is so good at everything else, because they just completely skipped over doing the hands, which takes half the time of everyone to perfect. So it's definitely very good at everything, but just has odd looking hands. You can see right there. So it's good at gripping very specific things, but if you needed to maybe pick something up you could pick up, maybe you could, like, say you're trying to pick up a toothbrush with this thing, it might struggle. But yeah, I really do like the design, but it's definitely not something you'd want around your house. Very industrial looking. So let's look at this was the old design, which I really like, and they recently showed the new design. So let's react to that.
Is how Atlas is moving. How is Atlas moving today?
So in normal operation, Atlas is fully autonomous on a job site, but today, Sarvesh, one of our FAEs, is piloting Atlas on the stage, giving it really simple instructions like forwards and backwards, just to keep things simple. This is Atlas's first time in public, and as you can see, its walk is pretty natural and pretty smooth. We've partnered with our sister organization, the Robotics and AI Institute, to push the limits on natural walking just for this performance. And I think we've done something really special. We've also been at this robotics thing for a while, and we've learned that there's more to it than just copying nature. We can pick the best parts of what nature has to offer and do better in others.
So they pre-scripted
as you can see, Atlas here has joints
not doing that on
360 degrees. This lets Atlas
move
even more.
Well, it is doing it on its own, but it's like
particularly in manufacturing
they scripted it to do
where
that.
every
It's
second
not
counts.
autonomously just.
We've also
like
designed Atlas's head and face very purposefully.
but it's still very
we want
cool.
folks working with Atlas to know that Atlas is a helpful robot, not a person.
Seeing Atlas live in action for the first time is wildly exciting. But seeing it perform real industrial work is even more compelling. We recently took this robot down to the Hyundai Motor Group Metaplant America to have Atlas test in a real manufacturing facility.
So this is what Atlas is going to look like. And I hate to say it, but I like the older model better. This one to this, they look very similar, but what is this? What's going on down here? That doesn't look too good. I noticed they do have better hands though on this one, but this is just an eyesore to look at. The legs really. They do a better job with the hands, but the legs, huge downgrade. So going from these to these, maybe for industrial, people won't care as much about how it looks, but if I was ordering a robot, I would want the legs to be more even, so it's not walking around and hitting stuff as it's walking around, and just to look like more natural, you know. So I don't know how to feel about this new design.
Atlas navigates back to its charging station and swaps its own batteries, getting right back to work. Finally, Atlas robots share.
So I'll review the newer design rather than the older one because they're obviously pivoting from that design to the new one. So even though they're both different, I'm only going to review the new one. So we'll just look into that.
Intelligence. Through our Orbit platform, once one Atlas learns a skill, it can be shared with any other Atlas.
This is a big issue that I've noticed that not a lot of, I don't know, maybe people in this industry have been noticing, but why would you want a robot that's like connected to other robots? Would you want a phone that's connected to other phones? Like, yeah, to an extent, but you need to make sure these things aren't really sharing like important information with each other. Like, what happens if one robot sees like a passcode for like an account that's important for someone? It shares it with all the other robots, and then all the robots have your passcode, and then someone can ask it, oh, what's his passcode? And it tells you, right? These things need to be thought about. So there's definitely a lot of advantages for it learning to share information with all the other models, but definitely a lot of safety regulations too. Like, if all the models are sharing data, would that make all the models have a problem if one of them had a problem? Or who knows, maybe if one of them is hacked, they could hack all the other models too, you know? So it's really an important thing to think about. Or even better, what if you had one from, say, you bought a robot from another country and they shipped it here, and you just have a guy in another country who could control your robot, right? So these are all issues that people need to sort of think about when it comes to these things, because there's really not a lot of security at the moment, it appears, because they're just fine with sort of sharing all the information so they can learn, but that can create a lot of issues in the future.
Industry-leading specs, along with our industry-leading foundation models, allow Atlas to take on challenging tasks. Tasks that Atlas will do autonomously on its own from day one, assisting people and prioritizing a collaborative, human-centric approach. And as we continue to build out our general purpose technology, our customers will be able to use our Orbit software to teach Atlas new and specialized skills. Do you want to wrap us up by talking about our production and deployment plans?
Of course. So we've already started production of this new robot at our Boston headquarters, and our entire 2026 supply has already been allocated to Hyundai Motor Group and our new AI partner you'll hear about in a few minutes. We'll add more new customers in 2027. But for now, we're planning additional pilots at Hyundai Motor Group
All
and
right.
building a.
What is this? They're going to school. See, this is how they learn, though. They need to like be genuinely sat down in front of what they're going to do and learn how to do it. Like from a video, whether it's a video or whether there's a person controlling it, they need to be taught how to do it. So this is kind of weird to think about that they have to do that.
Planning additional pilots at Hyundai Motor Group and building a facility that we call the Hyundai Robotics Meta Plant Application Center. This center is the
big input, great output, precision sequencing tasks. By 2030, robots will handle complex assembly. Together, we saw robots compete with humans. They compete for humans.
So, let's go back. So, we'll review the newer design, not the older one. So, this one. Yeah. All right. First off, the hands. The hands are better. And I mean, if they could do a great job with the movements, the training it how to do things, I would say for usefulness, I'd give this one an 8 out of 10. Because it's obviously meant for industrial. No one's going to buy it for their house. So for an industrial robot, it seems pretty good. You could have it do anything. I can't get over the legs though. So for design, I'm going to knock it down to a 6 out of 10. It pains me to do that because if they make the legs look better, it would go up a lot. But the legs are such an eyesore that you just can't ignore them. So a 6 out of 10 for the design, even though the previous design I liked much more. So it's a shame that they downgraded in design there. And then for security, I'm going to have to include security here. They said the Atlas shares data with all the other robots. I mean, come on. Who wants that, right? Like, it's fair to have the Atlas kind of feed data back to like the company, and then the company can kind of use all that data to kind of train a robot. But if they're all like sharing, like if I have my stuff and another one sharing it with another one, why would I feel safe around my own, right? And why would he feel safer around his? Because it's all just sharing our stuff, right? So for security, I'd have to give it a 5 out of 10. Really not great. I'm assuming they'll know what they're doing over time. But from what they're saying, it seems like, oh yeah, we'll just completely disregard everyone's like personal information, and we're just going to take all the info and share it all with all the robots. So that doesn't sound too good to me. So I'd have to give it a 5 out of 10 for that. So for a total rating, I'm going to give Boston Dynamics Atlas a 7.8 out of 10. It has clearly showed better use cases than other robots for industrial work, not for at-home work. Like, there's a reason it's industrial, right? It looks like an industrial robot. If it was made for anything, it would look like it could do anything. But this one, you'll only be seeing like, well, you wouldn't even be seeing it because it would be working in factories and stuff. But if you were to ever see it, it would look exactly like it belonged in its environment. So I think that's a fair rating. It's a shame the design kind of I feel it went downhill as they ramp up production, but it's definitely shown better use cases than other robots, and it has a lot of good potential. I saw the 60 Minutes interview they did with this company, and it looked like they had a whole system for getting it to work, and they were just beginning, and it was very exciting to kind of see something like that. So, yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you disagree with me, you can leave a comment down below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and that's all.